I am Nandakumar Nair, speaking on behalf of the HT and EHT Industrial Consumers Association. Thank you for the opportunity to highlight some of the serious concerns, worries, and also based on these worries, the suggestions of our industry's member. Due to paucity of time, I'm not going into detail of justification. As Sadi has already mentioned, we don't have time to justify. The detailed write-up has been shared. And so I'll just go by point on our suggestions or our request. First thing is on the point one is on the regulation 3.33. Energy storage obligation. We have requested a rewording for better clarity and removal of ambiguity. Second is on the definitions 3.47 on informed power. We request the Honorable Commission to determine a predefined provisional tariff rather than going by the ISTS deviation settlement rate, so that it is more justifiable and more fair. Third point that we wanted to highlight is on the point 3.68 peak hours. Many people already highlighted. I will just to reinforce the belief that the schedule of tariff and terms and conditions of retail supply is applicable till 31/3/2027, in which the peak hour is already defined, and so changing the peak hour at this point of time is not fair. And so we request the Honorable Commission to please take it in right spirit and retain the existing peak hour. The fourth point that I want to highlight on the behind the meter system consumers under 9.6 regulation, the access rights to licensee has been defined. But I would request that it may be, you may add one more point to that, stating that the rights as enshrined under Electricity Act Section 163 and also the access rights governed by the Kerala Electricity Supply Code 2014 plus 116I or something, so which would remove the ambiguities related to the rights to what to inspect and what not to say. So this is something we will add to that existing point. Then the clause number 13 related to the operational criteria for energy storage system by prosumers may please be amended to allow charging of the ESS during any time of the time, because ESS has to be encouraged. So if you want to encourage anybody who puts ESS should be able to be given the charging during off-peak time, which is not detrimental to the licensee. At the same time, for a prosumer having wind or RE supply, they may also be permitted to be recharged during the peak hours, so that because they are generating peak hour also, and especially the captive power. And the fourth was the next point is on the clause 15 on the metering infrastructure. I think the behind the meter consumers may please be exempted from the need for special energy meters, because there is no commercial transaction or commercial implication of using their power. So they may be exempted. Specifically, that statement may come in that particular regulation to exempt them from the need for a SEM. And point number 7. A maximum ceiling may be defined for the registration charges instead of keeping it open. Otherwise, the more the merrier would be the kind of a thing. I think there has to be a ceiling or a cap on the maximum amount that can be taken by the licensee, and that should be, we suggest that should be 10,000 as a ceiling. And the next point that is that we want to make is on the Chapter 3, the energy accounting, billing and settlement of the grid interactive and renewable energy system. The chapter has to be redefined, sir. So the stakeholder is not just licensee. Stakeholder is the domestic consumers, commercial consumers, and also the industries of Kerala, who are the prime people affected by this regulation. And this should be a win-win regulation rather than a one-sided, one stakeholder only focused kind of a thing. And so I think we would request you to completely relook and then re-examine the entire proposals and reword it appropriately, so that everybody's expectations are met, everybody's aspirations are met, and India's goal of net zero is achieved. Next point is that the roadblocks or set of banked energy may be removed as per the clause 28.4 and provide flexibility to consumer to decide the offset based on his business requirement. Why impose restriction? Already normalized charges are imposed for peak and off peak, and then it is further unfair to impose a restriction on a consumer on the time zone. So the consumer may be given flexibility to decide the offset bank at any point of time based on his business requirement. And the next point is the grid support charge. Much has been said. A lot of justification has been given for non-imposition of grid support charges, and we hope that the Commission would definitely take a look at it, especially in the context of every consumer segments voicing their dissent. The next point is on the cost. 33.34 applicable to existing RE consumers, our request is to do away with the proposed normalization and remain with the prevailing system. And the next one is on the clause 33.51, exempt the captive consumer from the 15-minute time clock consumption, because it is unfair for a captive consumers to be brought on the 15-minute consumption requirements. And clause 33.54 also is similarly a request to the Honorable Commission to review and permit energy adjustment and the CPP to be done in zone-wise time zone, not on the time slot, and the excess energy may be permitted to be banked. So in this context, I would just stay with the request that the Honorable Commission has already precedence through the first amendment July 22 to the Regulatory Commission Renewable Energy and Net Metering Regulation 2020 Clause 2(1), in which it has stated unambiguously to protect the interests of existing consumers. The same rights and things may be protected to the existing set of captive consumers, so that they don't come under the purview of all these changes that are enshrined in the new regulation. Once again, I am not going deep into that, but last point is ESO may be permitted to be adjusted for the obligatory adjustment against excess HPO, WPO, other sources till a market emerges for an ES power. So that is a very fair requirement. Once again, thanking the Commission for giving me this opportunity, and also we definitely hope the abundant faith in the fairness of the chairman and also the technical knowledge of the technical by Pradeep sir, and we hope that our justifications points would be well taken and would be taken into account when the regulations is firmed up, and every stakeholder is happy when the regulation is. Thank you so much, sir.